Hi, I'm David Schneider. I'm the executive. I'm with Schneider Historic Preservation. I'm a historic preservation consultant based in Anniston. I work with historic buildings. I've done hundreds of them over the years, and the mill here is one of them I've been trying to get done for, oh gosh, 20 years we've been working on it. I worked with Peter Howell back 20 years ago when the city hired me to develop a National Register nomination. We got this building listed in the National Register, and the mill building listed in the National Register, and we had it all going, and that deal fell through. Then we got back involved in 2021 when the city was getting ready to sell it for, to a salvage operator. Found a developer. We haven't lined up. We spent $120,000 on developing plans, had tax credit applications and everything ready to go. And the interest rates rose, and that kills the deal. So we're back to square one. Now we have the interest rates falling. We've got developers that are interested in projects like this. I work with literally, I've got 20 developers I work with right now that are looking for projects like this. It's going to happen. We just got to have the interest rates fall down. What we're doing is we're going to appeal to City Council to ask them to postpone demolition for 6 months or a year to let us make one last try. I think that's pretty much what I have to say. You have anything else you want to add?
No, just talk about a little bit about what, if it's converted into a purpose, how much that can mean for revenue in the city.
Well, again, we were looking at a $25–30 million rehab project on this, which would be a lot of money and contractors to work with. Then it would be on the tax bill for everyone. He was looking at a senior retirement community, basically 55 and older active seniors. Would be great. I mean, it's a great location for you. We got the what is it? The Chiefs of the Niagara Trail. We got the spring. All this stuff right here. I mean, it's perfect. Again, but again, it's what happens with these buildings, and I can show you pictures of the one we just did in $40 million. And they basically took an old mill that was sat vacant for 12–14 years, and it's completely rehabbed into an apartment. It's gorgeous, and it's fully occupied in Prattville.
What kind of apartments do they do?
Those are market apartments. They're
okay.
Regular apartments for people that are looking for apartments. So it was a darn good deal.
And how bad did it look when you started it?
It was horrible. It was worse than this. It had holes in the roof, and they had to build a dam to keep the river out of it because part of it was in a floodplain. It was an amazing project.
What do you think that's going to produce in revenue for the city down there now that that's done?
I have no earthly idea what their tax rate is, but it's going to be $100,000 a year.
Worth it.
Much worth it. And you save an important part of your community. The Pratt Gym is the reason Prattville is here. And why a lot of Jacksonville. Well, that's the thing. We've talked to people all over the city who had people that worked here that lost limbs, and lost their lives in this building. I mean, for 100 years it was buffed up, and so you talk to anybody in this town, they have somebody involved in it. So to lose it and just let it be torn down for no reason makes no sense.
Well, it was basically its own village. It had its own school, it had its own store, it produced its own power too. So it was, yes, it did. It produced its own power. They made their own power, so they were a village within a village.
Wow.
And Jerry can talk about how this is an anchor to the mill village and the other resources that the city has spent a lot of money into. This is Jared Brown, and Jared we have several homes, historic homes in the area, so we can speak on that. Maybe a little bit closer.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think that when you have a historic area like this, especially something like the Mill Village, losing the kind of the the center of that, really takes away a lot of that historical significance. Definitely we see that happening in a lot of places where we hopefully can notice that, just as David mentioned, in Prattville and Huntsville and places in Atlanta all throughout the South where they've taken their historic mills and turned it into really a real boom for the economy.
It takes a little vision. It takes a little vision on city council. They have to just understand that it takes time. We've had a number of deals that have come on this thing that they've always gotten impacted by the economy. It's the economy, so we know it happened. But again, we're real close. We could just hold on to it and let those interest rates drop another couple points, and we'll be good to go.
And David, if you could explain, and we've seen it happen where someone comes in, buys it, and demolishes it. What's in store for this community if that were to happen?
Well, they lose their mill. They lose the one thing that's of value to the community. It just goes away, and it's not here anymore. And once it's gone, you can't get it back. Not really. I mean, I've seen, like the mill in Anniston took like 10 years for them to tear it down, and it was just a rotting hulk with, bits and pieces sitting there for 10 years. It was horrible.
What a mess.
What a mess. Yeah.
You can look right over your shoulder there and see what happened the first time.
Yeah, it's still sitting there.
This is kept up. Windows are covered. Everything's secure here. That's a mess.
I think it's important to note as well that the Piedmont Village, they did that too, the Piedmont Mill, just 12 miles up the road, and they didn't clean the lot. They got what they wanted and they left it.
Yeah.
And
Anniston is the same way.
it's still like
Still
that
that way.
today.
Yeah. So do we want the eyesore
That one
to look worse than this?
SCP yarn.
Yeah, what
No,
would
I
you
think
do?
the city of Jacksonville would probably keep that from happening. I would think they would have an agreement that they would have to be cleared out within a certain amount of time. But still, people are gonna come by here and watch it being torn down.
Now.
Yeah,
How long
after
did that
20 years.
take?
I think.
That just goes to show, though, if that were to happen, you're not guaranteed that this will be a beautiful ball field 1 year from now. You're definitely not guaranteed that it will be new construction 1 year from now. If the investors right now are trying to find the money in order to invest in this property, then you're not going to have new construction any faster than the investor can work himself.
I'm the one that has the contract to buy this mill from them over right now.
Cool.
A reliable, legal contract.
You don't have a liability. You don't have a legal contract.
You need to go
If you had a legal contract, you'd be working on all those, wouldn't you? You don't have a legal contract.
Oh, yes, I do. The only reason I ain't paid them because the mayor couldn't take the check yesterday.
Yeah.
Y'all need to go check your minutes on these meetings. Y'all are telling everybody they just did away with my contract. They did not. But who is to say?
We understood that you found $50,000 worth of copper removed from the building, so
Because
you redid your contract.
No, I asked for a lower price. They said they wouldn't take it, so I went back to the original price to pay.
Are you willing
The
to pay that
$50,000 worth of copper is gone because this gentleman right here tied this building up for 3 years.
He didn't tie it up.
Or whoever.
Very smartly decided to
And
put
it-
on it
and
way
no-
back.
nothing
How much are you
happened.
going to make off this? Tell me.
Does it matter?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes,
He'll
it
make
does.
Yeah.
No, because I'm
You're
gonna
not
pay
taking a
I'm gonna pay
important piece of
taxes
this
on
thing.
every penny I make, which is
You're
none
gonna
of your
take
business.
You're gonna take an important piece of this thing, level it,
Tell me this: how many of these people live in these houses over here working in this mill? Not over one of them.
My father did.
My
Does he
father
live
did.
there now?
My father's deceased.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. How many people live in these houses now that actually work in this mill? Have anything to do with
There's
this
some,
mill?
there's my neighbor.
It would be very few. I bet there's not a half a dozen.
Well, he's on C Street right over there.
I'd love to meet him because I'd love to hear some of the stories out of this meeting. Because I love to meet people live in these old buildings. But this is what I do for a living, and we take these buildings apart. We don't go in and knock them down the floor. We take them apart and silence every piece of this building.
So why is
Yes,
that
sir.
scrap? So why is Piedmont
No, we don't sell
still?
it as scrap. We sell it at, you know what the wood in that building is worth?
I know exactly what the wood is.
Why you thinking I'm buying the building? They they always drive by here so big down over here where it fell in because the roof is already leaking something.
So why haven't y'all blamed Piedmont?
I didn't have nothing to do with Piedmont.
I thought you were the
No,
Blue
ma'am.
Mountain. Okay, then I was.
I didn't have nothing to do with Blue Mountain. I own Blue Mountain now, and we are cleaning it up. But I did not tear that mill down. I bought it 2 years ago, and we have sold a bunch of the product they left there out of there, and they're cleaning it up. They probably got that property sold. I got 38 acres of it. I generally don't buy land. I'm not buying land here. I'm buying a building. Don't want one. Too many hazards with the environmental stuff going on with the mills down there.
I understand what you're saying. I'm working with a developer in the valley.
And you just said, well, come yourself, you got property. Okay, if you got it done, why didn't you get this done? And how many employees here this year? 50? 100? Do you not think so? You have 400 apartments across here that you can get on this piece of land.
I don't want those new apartments. We don't want the new
Why not? You got the funds here.
No
It's
way.
open.
No way.
It's not here.
Are y'all not after money for the city?
It's not. That's the You're not. The college is there. This is the neighborhood here, and that's what we're looking at.
I do. We got
Me?
No, I don't. I live in
That's right. You're taking that money right out to Alabama.
So
My plan is to hire people that live right here in Jacksonville to work
Oh,
for me from
okay.
that
I'm
time.
sure. I'm sure I can
So I'm
come
not
over here.
taking all the money.
If
out of
I'm sure I
Jacksonville.
can find a bunch of illegal labor when I come.
No, you won't find no illegal
Yeah.
labor for me, son. I don't
I
work Mexican.
hey, don't talk about Mexicans. My wife is Mexican.
I don't work illegal. Put it that way.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
Anybody come on my
I've
job,
been
anytime they want
to
to,
these places, and I've seen it.
No, here's what I was gonna tell you. You asked.
No, I'm gonna tear it down and make a bunch of money off it.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what I do for a living. Y'all are gonna let us sit here another
And leaving
year.
us holding the bag with the mess. Leave us with the mess.
Awesome. They make millions of dollars. I want you to come show me how. Because they ain't millions of dollars right here.
Oh, God, Jerry,
They ain't a million dollars.
Jerry just redid several homes. How much does this
I can tell you what a piece of part-time costs and what it goes for.
If
In a
you're in
real
the
situation.
Okay, I'm
I
not
can
in
tell
the
you what a
remake.
bean goes for.
I'm not in the remake.
That's right. I know what it goes for. Absolutely.
What's it
And
go for
I know
south?
it's hard. I'm telling you what
What'd
it
it
goes
go
for.
for
You're going to sell that each piece by the board foot.
How much you supposed to
$8 to $10 a board foot.
Tell me where I can get that for.
Yeah,
I'm doing
I'm
one
sure
in
you
Addison
know.
right now. I'd love
I'm sure you know.
So tell us how much you've offered the city for this building.
Sure I am. Adelaide Mills.
Okay, y'all know where Adelaide Cotton Mill is?
It's nobody's concern what I'm paying or what I'm making. Why is it y'all's concern? Why would it? I tell you what, since y'all are so compassionate about this building,
right now, he'll probably pay at least 50, 40, or 30,000 for this property. He could potentially make, and I'm not into rehabbing buildings like this, so I don't know. But here's the public building. Probably $2 to $5 million off of a piece of this trash. This is why he's very vocal about it, because he just went on the Game Survivor and he lost.
no, I ain't
And that's
lost
why
nothing.
he's not
Like I
happy
said,
about
I have a legal binding contract in that mayor's office right now. waiting
Hang
for
up,
the right-
hang up. I just talked to a city council member and they said that's not
They
true.
need to go back and check their minutes from the meetings. Everybody says December the 10th. It was canceled. There wasn't even a meeting on the 10th. It was on the 9th. This place was not even discussed. Go back and check the minutes. All they did was turn down my lower offer because the copper company. That's all they did. They didn't vote on
Well,
that.
that's not what
They
the
didn't
city
vote for
council
the
is telling me
semi-contract.
right now.
Well, you need to go talk to the mayor because that's who I
last
talked to
thing that
today.
I'd like to address that he brought up is who all lives in this mill village or was attached to it or what have you. That's not here at this moment. I made 1 million phone calls this past week, and I touched on people along the way.
Call
that
Tony
were
Taylor.
affected by this mill. Either they lived here, their parents lived here, their worked in the mill. And so I called JSU, I talked to several people there and just said, oh, here's what I'm doing. And they were like, oh, my grandmother worked there. So it is all.
How many of those people are
And
here?
if you notice the traffic that comes through here.
Those schools just let out
from
like that.
JSU, how beautiful this will be one day.
This is all day. This is not just now. It's not just
Oh, I know there's a lot of traffic here just because of the tower.
So, in other words, we're gonna have people right in here, and one day we'll be close to a beautiful rehab project and be very proud of it in their city.
Who's going to pay the $5 or $6 million to get this thing up to code if it can be done?
Well, that's not your business if you don't want to say.
Y'all want to know what I'm paying
And
for
you
it?
haven't said, so.
How did he do it?
Can you make it work?
All right, I'll make a deal with you. I'll make a deal with you right now. Y'all are so compassionate about this building. Pay me $100,000 and I'll walk away and y'all have this building. And y'all ain't as compassionate as you're acting like.
Well, you're not either. You just know for the money.
That's how I make my living. What else am I going to
That
do it
means
for?
every single person could ask David to pay them $100,000. Yeah, I mean, you can't do that, but.
You got a contract, go for it. Why you
Because Tony is out of town.
Why
I came to see what all y'all had to say and a bunch of stuff that put on Facebook today. And then y'all sit here and say that I leave a mess at a job. I ain't never been to one of my jobs. Yeah, you have, and I have too. I don't leave them like that.
When I leave here,
It's in my It's in my contract. What you can't see right now, we're not doing. We're in the middle of town.
How long you been there?
I've been there 7 months.
7 months.
I'll be there about 6 months. At least 6 months.
Yeah, tore down another great building. It's great.
You know what? My great-great-granddad, worked right there.
Well, that's fine.
You screwed the city out of 50. You screwed the city out of 50 grand, in my opinion, when you let it sit there for 3 years.
Can you get what Rhonda's trying to
They
say?
have money that was given to them to take care of
To
it.
put this copper back in here.
The coppers
I don't think there was any copy.
There's not
Look, in 21, when I first made my offer to buy this building and went to the council meeting that night to hand them a check, and y'all came in that night and closed door meetings. I know that for a fact, which is illegal in every
I was only open.
That's beside the point. That's too far down to go to you worry about it. Every piece of copy is in this building. There's 5,000 copies in the building right now because me, the mayor, Tony, and the building inspector went in there 3 days after they gave the mayor permission to sign a contract with me, which was in October. We went in there 3 days later, and that's when I came back. I said, $50,000 copper down out of this building. That's cutting into my pocket. And so, yeah, I offered less money. They refused to take it. I said, okay, I'll go ahead and take it for what I offered. So,
How about we keep this back on the original intent and. Okay, Rhonda, you were saying something about your great-grandfather?
My great-great-uncle used to work at this cotton mill, and he worked in the office, and he took the rent from the village.
Oh, wow.
And this is his receipt that they had. Like, it's my great-great-great-great-uncle. And it's got the names, how much they paid, and it goes back to 1914.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. And how much they paid.
That's so cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's like touching history. Look at the handwriting, how pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I wish we wrote on that underneath. Something. Wow. I almost feel nervous touching it.
David, one of the things that I would like to see when we get into this renovation a little bit further, to see if we can carve out a space to have a Mill Village museum. Because here's a fine example of all this stuff that's floating around. And if we could consolidate it, it would be very cool and also be a tourist issue. Which again is, tourism is good for the city.
And so are rehab historic buildings.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say? Any questions for David or anything? These 3 women live right down there on C Street.
Oh, cool.
And they've worked their butts off on their houses and care. They care about the neighborhood.
I just feel like he's honest about his intentions. We've asked him 10 times what he's given for the property. Tell us what you're trying to do okay with it. We could be
Well,
more
if I just
compassionate for you.
offered to walk away for 100,000, you can figure this on your back. Y'all want to pay me 100 grand? I've got this be here 2 years.
Can you produce a signed contract?
Ma'am,
Where's your signed contract you keep talking about? Yeah, right.
binding documents.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Important that we really applaud the city and the city council for sitting on this and waiting and giving this
Yes.
extra time.
Yes.
There's nothing worse. We've all seen it in any kind of project where you get this close, and all the stars align. Interest rates are down, construction costs have come down, investors, developers come in, and it's gone. So many times. Like the one so, I really appreciate this. I hope the city of Jacksonville can work with this.
I mean, here the first time it's gonna be safe. So you're the one that has like that one laying down and the brick piled everywhere on the
No,
other
that's
side
the
over
one
there.
that did the part that burned or something. I didn't have nothing to do with me. I've never touched this mill yet, as far as the house. That was not me.
Well then,
All I'm after is that building. I thought, don't care about that building, don't care about them buildings back yonder.
Wow,
That
that
was-
was said a
that's-
lot. Thank you
yeah.
for saying that. That was very poignant.
And I hadn't heard the city say they're stopping
care.
nothing yet.
There.
Well, hopefully
They will
after the next
But
one.
like I said, who's going to spend the $30 million to fix this building? It didn't happen in 21,
Went from 6
22,
million to
23,
30 million.
or 24. Why? Why? You cannot.
Because somebody will do it.
But you cannot send nobody in that building. The city is so much
we
like
don't want to go in the building,
Then
but
how-
it's nice
they
to
just
see
gonna
it
drive by and
because you
look at
know
the front
what?
of it?
Our grandparents were there.
My grandparents worked in Blue Mountain Cotton Mill too.
Unfortunately, we
And
can't
all
do
a bunch of memorabilia that came out of there, all a bunch that came out of Crow Whiskey Distillery in Kentucky I own, and every meal I buy, anything I find I keep that's worth keeping.
Okay, I think we're done with you.
Well, I have a question. We're talking about you can't bring something back. We had a train station here in Jacksonville.
That's right.
And it was a dirt floor, and it came back to life.
Go over
Why
there and
can't
look
we
at it.
bring this mill back to life?
We can. Yes.
Let's show you some
No,
pictures.
but it's
still-
fitting, and it had dirt floor, and at least we have a floor in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
the-
now.
Are you
But
going to
the
show
top
the
floor's already
Prattville?
started.
I understand that.
It's not going anywhere.
The Prattville Mill
Carry you down there and show you
is
a
really
bunch of it.
neat
In my
to see.
building,
It's
right?
at like www.prattvillemill.com. And look what they've done. I think there's 127 units in that. Was a little bit bigger than this, and they saved that.
It's going to blow you away, those pictures.
It's amazing. It's the coolest spaces. Again, you don't have a new apartment. You have the old style with the big
Well,
windows. So you have
here,
like a kitchen, and you look out over these big historic windows that your family lives out from over the years. You know?
It's just not a mill anymore.
It's not going
It's a
to be a
farm.
mill, right? And that's even more cool. That's what's so cool. And there's a trend across the United States to take these old buildings and create cool spaces that young people love to move into. So they've got a nice living room, granite countertops, a beautiful kitchen, and they're in like a loft apartment, and it's the thing to do these days.
And you also have the Cheektowaga Trail, you've got the mountain biking, you've got the horses at McClellan, so
There
you've
it is
got
before.
so many things to do that's building here in JSU is growing.
Absolutely.
There it is after.
So on the 23rd of this month, we need to ask anybody that is interested in
Before,
saving the
or
mill
that-
to show up at
this
the next
before?
city council meeting. And I'll have to look up the time, or you can on the city website, to sign it up for, I think it's like 5:30 that you need to be
Before.
there. What is it?
Starts at 6, but you can come at 5:30.
Okay, but when does the work session start?
That's where the mill before.
They're all one meeting.
They're all one meeting now, yeah. So we need anybody, bring your friends, bring anybody that's interested. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm out of town.
5:30.
Get 10 people to
Pretty
stand
amazing.
in your place, okay?
We'll
That'll
And
solve
this
that.
could be as easily as nice. This we got to keep it.
Any more questions? Okay,
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
coming, and
Yeah,
spread the
we'll
word
see.
and let them know what you heard.
Monday, 23rd.
Yep, the 23rd.